Hey everybody, this is Ra and All, Ra and L, or just Ra, whatever you want to call me. But we back. We back here with the Empress Sade. We back on set, and we bringing something brand new. We're bringing the technology up, and I got something, a great show tonight, and I named this one, We Found New Earth. And we did. We found a new Earth. We found a place that we could go. This program right here has already mapped out trillions and trillions of solar systems, galaxies, stars, asteroids, planets. And so, of course, there's an AI that's involved. And just through my heart and through my studies, there are certain things that I remember about the cosmos. So I started to explore, and then I started to run across things that I know that we can use. And one of the places that I ran across was this new planet that had the same type of atmosphere, the same type of um, gases and things that we would need to survive. And so I wanted to share that with the group, and as well as other places and things that I know that I've been seeing on this program. This program will allow you to land on the planet, rotate around the planet, and a bunch of different things. I'm not a pro at it, but I'm not all the way slow with it either. So let me see, can I get a rotation going on? This is planet Saturn. So we've all heard about Saturn. We know that Saturn has rings around it. But now I want y'all to start paying attention to these rings, because these rings really make a difference. I think that a lot of times we don't really understand about what these rings are about and how they actually are used. But if you think of string theory, if you look at your thumbprint, your handprint, you will see strings, or what appear to be strings. And those strings, and they're on your foot also, these are ancient sciences and ancient technologies that the ancients knew about. If you buy statues and stuff like that, you would notice these type of strings that would be on the clothing, or sometimes on the hands or the feet of gods and goddesses. So pay attention to that. So we're just taking a look right now. We're at Saturn. I just wanted to start at Saturn before I take you around the cosmos a little bit. And if anybody got any questions, ask. Make sure you ask. Now, it's one thing that I've discovered about this whole thing that plays a big part in space. You have photons, these light particles or light beings, like you see a star. But all stars and all these lights that we see up here are not really considered stars. Some of them are what they call photons, or light photons, which are vehicles for light beings. So keep that in mind as we start to move around the cosmos. Now, what we're seeing right here in the background, as we're looking from Saturn going to the left side, and we start to go diagonal downward, kind of opposite. If you see this little arrow, this is giving us an indication of the direction, but it's actually going a little backwards. If I'm going this way, like down this way, you see I'm going downward. And I'm going like shoulder to waist. And pay attention to the body parts that I use, and pay attention to when I say shoulder to waist, because these are code words. These are code words that's going to help you along your journey as you learn how to use these invisible cords and strings, hint, hint, and how you're able to soar and move around the cosmos physically, mentally, through the right types of bodies. Because in order to move through space and time, you're going to have to either be in a light body, or you would have to be in a sound body. Those are the means of travel. And there are other types of bodies that are used to move across the cosmos, but we're going to stick to those two for right now, because those are the two that I'm kind of getting a firm center standing on. Because this right here is going to be dealing with, once we start dealing with time and space, which this society is starting to comprehend, you're going to be dealing with the electromagnetic spectrum. But not only that, you're dealing with what they call magnetic gravity. So a lot of the way that you will be able to move out of your body, your physical body, into your light body, into your photonic body, and be able to move across time and space, there are techniques to do that. But in order for you not to get lost in the vast scheme of things of space, there are rules and the things that we should know. So let's start getting moving now. And we look in the background right here. This is what they call the Milky Way galaxy, actually the Milky Way belt. They want to show and say that this is a galaxy, but it's not, because this right here is we moving down the Milky Way. This contains trillions of different galaxies. Trillions of different galaxies. Now, this is our sun right here. And I'm moving across it. And I'm still going this direction. Notice how I pick right back up on the Milky Way. Here we go. Coming around, and now I'm right back at Saturn. Now, that looked very easy because I knew the path to go. But remember, I could have went any direction and went to trillions of different stars. Let me show you. I point right here, and I right click, and this is going to show me what star this is. This is the star Morphic, and it's in the Orpheus or Ophiuchi solar system. So now let's go to that. Now, if I turn it down, the speed down, and we make a move like that, you're going to see more of a benefit. Let me go farther out in the cosmos. I'm just picking a place. And let's go to this object. Now, this is a sun, right? And this is a star called Massim, and it's in the constellation of Hercules. Now, we could actually hit this button right here, and we'll start to see the planetary system that's associated with this. Like, we can pick a place, and we can go right to it. Now, this is actually a planet. This is not a sun. It's rotating around this sun. And so, and you can even go right here, and sometimes, even like this one, if we go here, it actually has even a planetary system of its own, which are the moons. So if we want to go and we want to look at a moon of this planet, here's the moon. And we can actually get a rotation going too. I'm just going to get a rotation. This is not letting me see it high enough. That's a problem. But anyway, I can get a rotation. There's buttons, but all my screen down here is like it's in the way. I'm just going to pin this up. It should have pinned. Now, uh-oh. I'm just going to pin that back. But I should have been able to. Anyway, see how this one's raising up? This one should raise up too. But anyway, I can move around without it. Now, so now let's go look at a few, before I take y'all to this planet that I found. I'm calling it another Earth. And the reason why I'm calling it another Earth, now look at that background shot right there. That's amazing. If you see the gases that is formed right here, you can kind of see a face of a female right here, of this part of the Milky Way galaxy. Now, we live on the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Let's go to Earth. Let's just go to Earth. Now here's Earth. So now let's get a different view and look around and see what we see. There's the sun. I kind of rotate around. Now I'm getting a view of Earth. Now, we look right here. What does that look like? Either the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper. Let's see what it is. Oh, this is the Pleiades. This is the 7 planets of the Pleiades. Let's go to the Pleiades right quick. I mean, it's actually about 12 main stars in the Pleiades, but it's millions of planets in the Pleiades. Now, from the Pleiades sit a little bit behind. Let's visit one of these planets, one of these stars in the Pleiades. This is a more outside look. And this is going to take us to a nebula. So let's go to it. We'll back this up and go in a little bit. We can actually go in closer. There we go. Now we're inside of the gas. Now, if I click on this, this is star 22 of Tauri. So I've even heard of Earth even called Tauri. So Tauri is a solar system. Let's go to it. Now look at that. Now when you say a star is born, this is a white main sequence star. So the stars are yellow. They go from yellow to red to blue to red. And so a blue star is what's called a neutral star or neutrino star, but a blue star is more of a new star. That's a new star that's been born. And then the red star is when a star is about to supernova, is about to go out. And then the yellow is the star that's in between. So our star is, when I look at it, it's from a yellow to blue tint. So it's still got plenty of gas left in it. So now let's look and see the planetary system for this. Let's go to this planet right here. So now you can start to see, when you look on the side right here, these temperatures, number of moons, the gravity, solar days, the rotation period, the orbital period. Man, these people have been doing their homework. You can see here, and they've counted how many suns. And if you go to what they call the Berry Center, the Berry Center is what is called the, let me see, can we go to the Berry Center? Now this is the Berry Center. And the Berry Center is where you have 2 stars or 3 stars or 3 suns, like a trisolar solar system. You have binary solar systems that have 2 suns. You have a single sun, and then you have some solar systems even have 8 and 9 different suns. But the Berry Center is where they rotate. Now, if I can get some rotation, some kind of way, I'll hit that button, and I lost my bottom navigations. Because there are more navigations on here. Maybe if I slide the program up just a little bit, there we go. Here we go. Now, I'm supposed to be able to, here we go, get some rotation. So now we're starting to see how this solar system and things are rotating around this object, or this sun. Now, if we go out a little bit, we should be able to see the binary star. Now look at that right there. That's a green. Let's see if we can catch it. We missed it. That was, but it's gonna come back around. That was, it could have been one of these planets, or that could have been a green photon, photonic energy. There's the Milky Way again. There we go. Let's see what that is. That is planet Tauri 1. Now, I like to pay attention to these readings down here, the types of gases that they have, and the temperature. Because the temperature is going to tell you, now these are in Celsius and we use Fahrenheit, but I went and I did a comparison chart to kind of keep up with it. This would be way too hot. But let's go to that. So this is actually a planet that you see that when you get up close to it, it's emitting a reddish purple hue, but from a distance it's green. So this right here will be a good planet for somebody to actually utilize for chakra, for this chakra color. Now, as we begin and continue to evolve, we will be able to see more and more of these stars with our naked eye. We can catch another one. Now, let me take y'all to what I'm calling New Earth. Now, this is an amazing program, amazing. You can actually land on these objects and go down to the surface to see what is happening on the surface and see how it looks. Let's see how this planet looks.
Yeah, this program is crazy. This is great.
Right? It's crazy. Now, you can see the rotation of the planet, how, now this planet right here is akin to Neptune. And you notice it's in the Tauri solar system. If you, in Kemet, you'll hear that name a lot. Tauri. As a matter of fact, I think that was a name of Earth or a moon that was on Saturn, was called Tauri. So Tauri and Taurus, let's go to, I'll bet that this is in the constellation of Taurus, Tauri, because we're not that far from the Pleiades, and the Pleiades in the constellation of Taurus is close. Let me see, because we can turn the constellations on right here. Now that's the celestial grid. I'm going to show you all about that too. What's this here right here? Constellations. And this is showing the constellations. So if we was to back up a little bit, I'm almost certain. Let me see. These travels that I've been doing, all these lines, but some of them too are gateways. I've learned how to move across the solar system. Now, I don't know if Tamika, the goddess Tamika, Empress Tamika, is she on here?
No, she said she had a hard time getting on through the phone, and she said she's going to end up having to check it later because I'm getting hits right now for people that can get on, and she was one of them that
can. Okay. But if you text her and tell her to go and just click on the link where it says if you want to get on the video, then she might can get on there. But anyway, she was, the reason why I brought her up, because this is a very magical group. And so am I. And so you hear a lot about the magic directions, right? But what are they? Most people don't know. And unless somebody who's trained in what they call the high seas or space, you won't be able to understand what the hell they're talking about, the magical directions, and they can throw you off. Well, I know the magical directions, and I found them, and it's contrary to a lot of things that you hear in the book. Okay, let me explain that a little bit, and then I'm going to take y'all where we're trying to go. Now, as we look at this planet as it's rotating, right, we always thinking of things. A map will show you something in two-dimensional, meaning it's laid flat down on the surface, laid flat down, laying a piece of paper flat down on the table. Well, there's no way that you can take something and lay it flat down on a piece of paper and get north and south, because north and south is straight up and down. There is no east and west. East and west, if you hold your hands out, is supposed to represent east and west. But as you turn, like these planets do, in a circle, in a perfect degree, any way that you turn is going to change the east and the west. So a lot of times when you're dealing with the magical directions, what they want to do is fixate towards the sun, which is always going to be on one side of you no matter where you go if you pay attention. The sun is always going to be on one side, either your right shoulder or your left shoulder. So now, once you start to understand that you are always center within yourself, and north and south is straight up and down your body, not straight out forward, not looking out this way, not looking out that way, not looking, no. North and south is straight up and down. The only way you can travel north and south is to go up a tree, up a mountain, up a hill. And if you're going up a hill and you're not going straight up, you're going at a slant or a slope up. Now, this is very important because when you look at the sun, and as the way the sun is rotating, that sun is always going to be about at a 45-degree angle, the light coming down and hitting its object, or hitting you or your eye at about a 45-degree angle, which 4 and 5 equals 9, so that's your master number. Because numbers really don't go no higher than 9, they just repeat, they go up to 9. 10 ain't number 1. So now, when you're looking at the magical directions, if you are on a program like this and you know that north and south is straight up and straight down, notice how that planet is rotating around this. It's going up and down, back around, okay? And you notice this planet is rotating slightly at a tilt, probably about 10 degrees. They call this the magnetic north. Straight up and down, straight north like this is not north. They call this the magnetic north. But I've come to know the real north and south, the real thing is going from corner to corner. If you go from corner to corner, that's going to take you this north and south, because what you're really doing is you're kind of following the Milky Way. You notice right here it is, I kept going from corner to corner with my mouse. Notice I'm keeping up with the Milky Way. But here's a trick. Notice that in the zodiac, they don't give us the correct zodiac, and they don't give you the correct direction of the zodiac. Okay, let's start. The zodiac should start with Aries. Okay? Now, if we go up, like I'm telling you, there's Aries, there's Pisces, there's Aquarius, there's Capricorn, there's Sagittarius. Notice, are these in order? Huh, Dr. Sade?
It definitely is not in order.
It's not in order. There you go. Notice that it's not in the order that they give us. And they give us a rotation like a ring that you put on your finger. But notice the angle that I'm going. I'm taking my mouse and I'm going like this at a straight 45, breaking this whole screen in half. And notice when I move that way, I am going to move with the zodiac. Keep that in mind. Now, I can go this direction and go downhill. Now, I got Aries, I got Taurus. Now, notice what comes up next. Orion. Do you see Orion in our zodiac? No. So it's going to go up under and it's hitting Gemini. Then it's going to Cancer. It's coming around to Leo. Now, you know our boy Remedy, he always talking about the sextants. Well, here's the constellation right here. Notice there's a thing called flanking in military. To flank someone means to come from behind his shoulder and come in from the blind spot and sack it. That's what this word comes from. Sextons or saxtons. To sack. Notice what saxton is sacking. Leo. Okay, let's keep going. There go Virgo. There go Libra. And notice what's happening in Libra. Look at this cosmic explosion that's going on. All these points of light that's coming out of Libra. We know Libra is the scale. Now let's keep going. We're hitting Libra, and we're going from Libra. We don't even got Scorpius or Orpheus. There go Orpheus, the 13th zodiac, right there. So Orpheus should be on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, according to what they teach us. But notice there's Sagittarius, Capricorn way down here. So how is Orpheus on the cusp? It's really not. Notice Scorpius, which is a very important zodiac or constellation, ain't even in our zodiac. Then you come around to Sagittarius, Capricorn, then we come into Aquarius again, and here's Pisces. And then here's Aries again. So we're back around. But notice that is not in the order or the rotation that we are given. That's to throw us off. Another thing you would notice that they took the time to block these zodiacs like a puzzle, or like a city block, or like a country. So here's your invisible borders that we're getting all across the world. And they mapped out according to these constellations. So now when we jump into the constellation of Orion, this is where you're going to find most of the esoteric science is going to be pointing you towards Orion. Orion is a very, very important constellation. Why? Because where is it taking you to? It's pointing you to the flank, which is coming this way, where all this cosmic activity is going on. And it's also taking you, now here's Canis Major, which is that's very, very, very important constellation. Antilla, a lot of people don't know that Antilla, no, I'm thinking about Aquila. There's a constellation called Aquila, and Aquila is the equivalent to the eagle. So Aquila is the sign or the constellation that the United States use. So now let me take you to what I found. So I'm starting to give y'all, let me take these constellations off so it won't be so many marks. So now let me take y'all to what I found, and that's a nice looking planet right there. Now, nobody told me about this. It's just in my blood. This place right here is called RA. It's called RA. Let's see, can we go to it? Rename, share. How we get there again? Most times I'll right click. I thought it would just, hold on. See if we just go to it. Let's see what we got. That's not it. Okay, I can go to history. Alright. I just found this the other night. Here we go. Here we go. I think it's this one. That ain't it. Hold on. This is it. There it is. There it is. Now, look at this temperature. When you look at the greenhouse effect, now look at this. Doesn't that look just like Earth-like? Look at the clouds. When you look at the temperature right here, the 25 degree with the greenhouse effect, this 25 degrees Celsius puts you at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at the C composition, H2O. Look at the gases. It's got H2O, it's got CO2, it's got nitrogen. It's got all of these super gases or noble gases, some that we have on this planet and some that we don't. Because we normally have what? Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen, and oxygen in our atmosphere that we breathe in. So if you look at this, you see what it says? Warm, super, oceanic, aquatic, aquaria. Now, this is a place where human beings could live. Insects, animals, anything, because it's the same thing as Earth. It has the same composition. Let's see if we can go and land on it. I haven't tried to land on it yet. Here we go. There's the ocean. There's the ocean. I don't want to crash. This thing would crash you too. It's just nice. And if you keep going, you'll find land and everything. We're going closer to the water. Ooh, almost my head. Then look at the sky. You can go straight back out to the atmosphere. If I can fly my ship correct. The sun, and this is the sun. Here's the sun. That's their sun. You know what I'm almost thinking, Emperor Sade? That this is parallel Earth.
It may be. That's what it looks like.
Because when you go to their sun, this is their sun. This sun, let me back out of it just a little bit. It looked just like our sun. It has the same parameters as almost as our sun. And then I went to one of these other planets. Might have been this one. And it's almost like Neptune. And this is called a cold subaquatic. You can tell the temperatures is real cold. We couldn't live there. But this one, yeah. None of these other ones. This is a dark. Now look at that. You see that right there? That's almost the same thing that you have on Saturn, like the little hexagon. I don't know, can we get up under and see it? But if you look at that right there now, it gets pretty hot, but it gets cold enough with the greenhouse effect almost to be able to live there, but not as comfortable. Let's go down on it a little bit. It looks like it's a dark planet. We're in the atmosphere. Here we go. That's how we're in the dark. Oh no, we went right off the planet. My fault. Oh no, we on the surface. There it is. There's the surface. So it look more deserty. Oh, I kept going. I'm not that adept with this program. It's a way to make it stop and pause and move around a little bit better. But anyway, let me go back to where we was at. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah. How far is this? Because you was talking about parallel compared to where we're at Earth.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Let's go back to it. The same minute. Oh, let's see something. Let's see something. Go back to my little history.
Because I'm trying to make the correlation of there was a movie called a while ago called Second Earth or something like that, and they were talking about the parallel Earth and like another you being on the parallel Earth, and you were able to see that Earth from where you're at. Like they were saying, like how it came closer to where we're at, where you were actually able to look out in the sky and see the parallel Earth in that movie. So they kind of touched on it a little bit.
Okay.
That's
Well,
what
we can do is the distance. This distance is. Let's go and see when I put in Earth and see how many light years that it takes to get from there to here. Because the distance, I think this distance is telling you the kilometers. It's telling you what is the diameter of the planet. But it will tell you how many light years it takes to get from one place to the next. So let's try it. Let's go to hit search. And let's hit Earth. And then hit go to. It's traveling. Didn't really. It's a way to tell though. It's a way to tell. Let's see. This is a journey log. So we just went from, I guess, here. Yeah, from here to here. And I think this is saying 2,519 light years. You see what it says too? Planet, well, that's what for Earth. But yeah, I would say about 25,000 light years away, which ain't that far.
Okay.
Which ain't that far. You got planets that are trillions of light years. Like, let's start traveling around a little bit, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Let's see. Anybody can think anywhere they want to see in a galaxy? Like right here, you look way down here. Let's see what this is. That is the nebula Carina. Let's go to that. Now,
While
this is
you're
a
going to
whole.
that, I'm going to read something in the chat. Empress stated, she said, I was taught there were 142 more planets besides Earth. The dome is just not travel, or you can't travel out the dome. That's what she's saying.
No, that's not true. Okay, this is what's happening, and this is why it's so confusing. What we're seeing right now is what we call the microverse, meaning this you're seeing inside of yourself. In order to travel, the whole body, what was known as the house of Asaru, or the house, some people call it different names, it depends on what mysticism or what group that you aspire to. Nordics call it something different, you know what I'm saying? But this is look at the body as a temple. If you look at the body as a temple and you look at us as being the biggest being, right? This would be you, one of these big nebulas, right? But you can't see inside of yourself. So the only thing you're seeing is a sphere. But if you was able to reflect through your cornea and go inward, then you would be looking at space, because the space is inside of you. It's like you turn inside out. So when you're talking about all these different beings and all these different lives and all these different places, the one reason why it's so confusing and we never know what's going on, because all this stuff, all the stories you hear about the Anunnaki and all these, those are micro beings. You hear about photonic beings or light beings. You're seeing them, but they're super, super small. It would take, it's like photons are coming past my eyes right now, but you can't see them. The same gases. So I am, or you are, this big gas giant, or this big nebula, or this big galaxy. You are the galaxy. Each one of us is one of these galaxies, and these trillions of photons and sound particles and waves is the air that you feel in every day and the sunlight that's coming past you, but you can't perceive the microverse as inside. Everybody loves the term as above, so below, but most people don't know the other part that goes with it. So within, so without. As within, so without. So what is going on inside of you is going on outside of you. So when they show you this right here with a telescope, what they ain't telling you that telescope is only like a mirror that's going back through their eye, through their retina, and showing you the inside of yourself. So all of the Anunnaki, the reptilian, and all that stuff exists inside of us, not outside. So when you die, like they say, your ancestors go and they live inside of you. Why do they? How can they live inside of you? Because they become micro beings now. So the quantum or the quantum field is inside of you. The quantum beings, them the ones that's, you have processes in your muscles and all these thousands of different anatomic processes. These are the processes that's going inside of you. The wars that's being fought, all that stuff is happening inside. And then after a while, if you're able to command the inside of you, be able to meditation or whatever, go inside of yourself and see this, like when a person says that they can astral travel. How are they astral traveling? You remember, they're doing that basically in their sleep. Because in their sleep, they're able to access and go inside and see all of these different planets, worlds, and then access things. So remember, the gas that you're breathing, they're called the non-noble gases. If you come from that type of celestial ancestry, how do you think you're able to access your ancestors? Because they're gas beings. You breathe gas, they're one of these gases that they're showing right here when you look at a planet. When you look at one of these planets, let's go to one, a star or the planets around it, it's going to show you the gases that the planet is made of. Well, those gases are your ancestors that's inside of you. They're called jinn or genies. Oh, why are you going away?
Okay, while you're saying that, I just want to say another question. It says, what about the what about
Well,
the
here's another one. You
okay.
see that right there? I'm sorry. But
No,
you
go
see,
ahead.
if you look at that closely, let's go over a little bit. That is a whole person. If you look at it, we travel. All this is light, photons, quarks, biops, all the things that we hear about in science. But all those things are micro small. But if you look at that, you can look and you can see the shadow of like a man or a woman standing there. This will be you and me. We're getting closer. Let's see when we get zoom in some more. Let me show you what I mean. Now look at that. Here go the head. Here go the arms. Here go the legs. Here go his foot. That's one foot. There go the other foot. There go the knee. There go the knee. Comes up. It's like he's holding a scroll or something in his hand. Here go the face. This is the cosmic footprint. Now this is a whole damn galaxy. Multiverse. But when we see it, it's gas. This is the genie in the bottle. This is your magic. But it's inside of you. Now look at the other characters that's with him. Now if I zoom in on this and we keep going, get closer and closer and closer, right? I can click on one of these. This is a star. If it let me go that far. But we keep going in, because I can speed it up, speed the velocity. Now we just went through them on a whole other side. Now you just went through a parallel dimension. You just went through a parallel dimension. You just went through a whole galaxy, went through a gas giant, and now you're on the other side of the mirror, as they call it, on a whole other parallel reality. Now you notice I couldn't even push on nothing when I was trying to do that. Now watch now. Boom, there it goes. It's so far away. It's so far away, they ain't even put their names to them now. They just start calling them RG0, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to it. Now, that right there is a whole galaxy, again, by itself. Now, I can spin around. If I start looking, look at that cluster of stars down there. I can click on one of these. Go to it. Now, that's what you call a cosmic sphere or golden egg. This right here attunes to like the story of Ra. When we talk about the goose that lays the golden egg, now we live in one of these. This is a cosmic egg or cosmic sphere. That, what they call magnetized gravity or magnetic gravity, is what's holding these stars or all of this community of stars together. This is really a being. This right here is a being that's going to be born. Eventually out of this, when this egg cracks, you're going to see the gas, you're going to see the person. But you really always remember, you're looking inside. This is inside of all of us. This ain't on the outside. Boom, there it goes. So within that cosmic egg is billions of what we call, like, you got the pinwheel galaxy, you got the shoe wheel galaxy, you got the Milky Way galaxy. So here's another galaxy. You see, it's called Galaxy RG03, blah, blah, blah. So it's billions and billions and billions of stars, but what they ain't showing you, that this is the gas inside of you. This is when you open Pandora's box. And this is your genies. These are your jinn. This is the smoke, as they call it in the Quran, the smokeless fire. But it's inside of you. So when you ignite this and you light yourself up in the inside, this is what you're going to see. You can then, at some point, you can retreat inside of yourself. You get out of the Godhead, which is your head, which you think all existence is, which is not. This be a head somewhere up in here. You get out of your head and come down into the core. Or you can be by the outer realm, or you can come down here by your feet or whatever, because all of these make like bicycles. They make like machines. Because really in our essence, we are also like transformers. We're like shapeshifters. We like a lot of things. We got gifts. But you have to get out your Godhead and start to travel down your arms or travel down your legs. They call them chakra wheels. Here go your wheels. This is one wheel. This is a chakra wheel. You're seeing it in the flesh now. You're seeing it in the anime or the animation. So how do you get to the anime or the animation? Through the computer. Through technology. So the human consciousness or the hair is just an antenna. You are a hypersentient, cybertronic. Remember, you have 23 different pairs of chromosomes that's in your DNA, and they're what they call alien. They're these things. So if you put 23 of these wheels together, and look all the species that will be in this wheel. You got trillions of chakras. Don't let nobody tell you you got 7 chakras. That's a lie. These are all our chakras. We can go to one. That's another galaxy. See how when I got out of the Milky Way galaxy and I got past the Stargate, past that block, and I got to the other side of the mirror, as they say it, because a pyramid is called a mirror in Egypt. Well, not in Kemet, they call it a mirror. M-I-R, mirror. Okay? And look at this one. Look at the shape. Here's another chakra wheel or another wheel. So now as you, or as us, evolving in our frequencies and raising our frequencies higher and higher and higher, now we're able to access this. Right now, if I was to turn at a certain degree and look at this at a certain light, I can take in this information because it ain't nothing but bits. It ain't nothing but the matrix. It ain't nothing but zeros and ones. And I can go inside of myself, or I can use technology, what people are using with these DFRs and all this holographic technology and using AI, which we are the AI. See, we got tricked. We got tricked by somebody else's story, because in somebody else's story, they didn't tell you that you was a robot or you were cybertronic, or what they call a cybertronic organism, before you was what they call a human. A human is a downgrade from what you was. What you was so smart and so technical that you could create a planet, you can create photons, you can create all this stuff, you could put it into a hologram or put it in a crystal, and then you could upload it either through your eyes or through your hands or through your skin or different interfaces, and then you can go through your mind and go and live in these places. Or some planets and some people or some species have the technology of the avatar, which these bodies are, because think about what light is. These photons that's moving as we move. And let me slow it down so we don't get to someplace so fast, and you can kind of see how the photons is moving. Let me decelerate. See my speed, you can move up the light speed, thousands of light speed. You got what they call FTL, faster than light. And they got all these programs. So now when I go to here, now I'm moving to another galaxy. Now look at that one. Nice. That's a wheel. That's a chakra wheel. Let me just decelerate some more. Go real slow. So you can see how the light photons is moving around. Now, as you breathe in air, these are the same things that's going on around you. You just can't see it. You can see it at night, and sometimes when it's misty outside, and you see it's misty, and you can see something moving with the wind. That's what these are, light photons. See, we are the giants already. They're making us think that we looking for the giants. No, you're the giants. When they talk about the Andromedans, when they talk about these different species, a lot of times these species are what the Andromedans could be an insect, right? That insect is flying all around you. But on TV, they don't show you that insect as a dragon. The lizards that's running around, these small little lizards. On TV, they're going to say, oh, you in center Earth, and they're going to show that little lizard as a different perspective, as him being bigger than you. That's just a trick of the eye. That's just consciousness. You can turn that up and down, where you're small and it's big, or it's big and you're small. So a lot of these animals that you run around, you see a cat, well, in a different dimension, with just a twist of the eye, in a different perception, that cat becomes a panther. Or this little small little dragonfly in one of these worlds, which are inside of you, the dragonfly now becomes a dragon. You see what I'm saying? Did anybody confused about what I'm saying? Because I know it's totally different than what we've been taught.
Well, I know that there was a question, there's a couple of them, and it may go into what you're saying because one of the questions was, it says, what about the secrets that the government is keeping from the public? It's a Earth inside the Earth. So I thought the galaxy is within, as above, so below. Isn't that what you were kind of just explaining right now?
That's what I'm saying. Now look at the word that he said, that the Earth is inside the Earth. Aren't you called land legally? Legally, your skin, or what you call, and when you speak in legalese, you're called land, right? Or ard. In the Quran, they say ard. This is earth. Your body is earth, right? You live inside of your body. You don't live outside of your body. Your perception is inside. Okay, so now, earth inside of earth, or planet inside of a planet. If you were to take a piece of blood or some DNA and you look up under what they call an electron microscope, which goes thousands of times smaller than a regular microscope, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the cosmos. You're going to see the universe. And then if you keep going on down, like if I was to pick out a planet, so I'm on the other side now, I'm only finding galaxies. Right? But if I step, now you see all this right here, all of these are galaxies now. In order for me to get back to the small stuff, I got to go back towards Earth. I got to get back, just Earth. Yeah, just Earth. I had to travel. Now you see how I just went through that void, through that, what they call it, what's the word we be using all the time? Gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me through a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm back on this side of the mirror. Now since I'm on this side of the mirror, now watch how I can pull up this and then I can start pulling up planets again. And this is the sun. Now I can pull up a planet or a moon that rotates around that, which is here. It's a planet now. Now you notice up here, look at that. That's a being. That's like an egg. That's a womb. And if you zoom in close enough, you'll start to see the shapes and stuff. So this will be the equivalent of inside of you. This is like, look right here, it's like a baby. Let me go up. I'm still finna might take me past it. Now look at that. This solar system has these big major clusters around it. Now here's our galaxy, the Milky Way. You see how she's standing up, north and south? Going straight up. Now when you get up here, this will be like the head. And if you drop something, it's going to go all the way down. And look at all these stars. Now when you look at the staff of Tahuti, right? Don't it do like this? Figure eights all the way up. Man's DNA, don't it move just like that? Don't it look like that? That's the question.
Oh, yeah. I want to make sure because I didn't want to interrupt you.
Right, so this is showing you, now you're getting down, you can see like a person's head right here. Chest, stomach. And coming on down into the tail, which man at one point had a tail. Some people still do. So when you look at this from a different view, there's the sun. Our sun is the yellow sun. But look down here. Here goes another cosmic being. There it is. Look right here, it's like it's a person with wings. There is the knees, like they're sitting down. And this is like another being, kind of laying down this way. Or they could be laying down, and this could be, but you see it. This is some of the pictures that we look at and we print. Any other questions? But yeah, that person is correct when they say that it's inside. This right here, whether man know it or not, is all inside of us. Each person can access this stargate, this cosmic gate. And these are all the gates, and these are all the different star children. You see, like this would be the head, this would be coming down, this would be the leg, this would be another leg. These are different positions like katas. You see that? That's a person right there. See how their hand is out and it's going to grab this person's hand? And here's the leg. That's one leg, and that's the other leg. That is a cosmic being. That's another cosmic being. Let's go up on it a little bit. For people who have eyes to see, there it is. And if you start working your way back down, see, it's about perspective. If you're too far up on this, there's a way for me to back up. Let me see.
While you're saying that, I'm just gonna update you because I have received a few different comments. I wanted updated because this is some from previous. One said, does that mean that to take flight, I have to OBD every night? I guess that have an out of body experience. I'm assuming OBD.
No. I wouldn't say that. I would say, in order to, the next evolution of man is the same thing that got us here, chemistry, alchemy. Remember, all this stuff is going on inside of us. Magnesium. See, when diet, okay, let's go over the word diet. To dye it. Hue, color. To dye it. Okay? There was a point in time where mankind had a green hue, like the plants, like the trees. How did we get the brown hue? Through the diet. The diet is what, the food is what allows a person who is smart in molecular chemistry, molecular biology, to dye you, to bleach you from brown to white, from white back to brown, from brown to black, from black to green, from green to blue. Because it's all called a hue. That's why you're called a hue man, a man with a hue. Talking about pigment. You ain't talking about melanin. Melanin and pigment is similar, but it's different. Somebody will confuse you with that. And you ain't talking about light. Light is red, blue, green. That's not pigment. When you're dealing with paint and you're dealing with pigment, you're dealing with something totally different colors. The combination of light, all colors of light, is white. But when you're dealing with pigment and you're dealing with things like melanin, the combination of all pigment colors is black. So you see how they can confuse you? They can confuse you by giving you stuff that's dealing with light, like neon light, white light, cool light, black light, and then give you a concept like pigment or paint. It's totally different. Real paint rises to the surface. You don't do like color crayons. That's dealing with colors. That's dealing with light technology. That's not dealing with pigment. That's how they trick people. The next way how they trick people is to get you to focus on the outside. I'm talking about they got satellites and telescopes. No, they got microscopes and telescopes with a reverse mirror on it that allows that telescope to go right back through your retina and see inside of you. And then they map all the stuff and then give it to you and then tell you to look outside of yourself and look for this God, when all of the God and all the stuff that you need, or the minerals, are inside of you. So you're mining minerals outside of you to put inside of you to really make the real microverse inside of you come alive. And once it come alive, then what can you do? You can fall back out of your physical mind and go inside and then live or experience all these different planets, suns, solar systems, cosmic beings, and all that. It's all coming online now. That's how I can even talk like I'm talking and show you this stuff. And the key of it is magnesium and zinc. Why is the key magnesium and zinc? Because you live in an electromagnetic or a computer, a holographic generated type of organic medium. And so in order for you to really access the whole amount of what it is, you have to get your metal potential back up. We don't have the essential metals. They're called trace minerals. When you want to grow plants, and if you really want plants to grow, which plants are a great example for us to fix our physiology to, because there are secrets in the plants in the tree. And one of the secrets is 7, or the pH, keeping your body at that balance level of 7. But that's not the only secret. The other secret is of the plant is how do you make it grow? Minerals. Your body lacks the essential minerals and the reserve of minerals to be able to take you to these electronic or these holographic or realms or different dimensions. So you have minerals such as magnesium, because magnetism. Inside of this computer is all kind of magnets. Inside of these headphones is magnets. Sound, you remember sound speeds up to light, and light speeds up to thought, and then you can go backwards. Thought slows down to light, light slows down to sound. So right now you are a sound being. Sound slows down to matter. So you are more akin to sound before you are akin to light. So right now you're upgrading to get the light body package. But first you got to understand sound or frequency or vibration. Because that's why they use magnets or magnetic recorders or reel-to-reel or tape or CD to what? Bring forth animation, movement, to animate. Okay? You have an imagination. In that imagination there's a word called animation. And in animation there's a word called magnetism. So right now, most of mankind is more electric than they are magnetic. Because why? You got electricity running all through your house. Lights are ran by electric more than they are magnets. The only magnets you got is really your speakers. And what do speakers do? They project. And when you hear sound, this ohm, this cosmic ohm, as they say, the everything is making around you, ohm. They call it the Schumann resonance, and that can be manipulated and changed. But this magnetism that's around us that people are trying to call gravity is not really gravity, it's magnetism. A magnet is what holds something down, not gravity. So now when you want to be able to balance yourself, what it is, the earth is way more magnetic than you are. So now, because it has magnetite in it. So with this magnetic pull, the earth is pulling you down and keeping you here. How do you reach to where you can pull back or you can lift off? Well, you have to build up your magnetic potential. And how you do that is through magnesium. Get you some vitamins called magnesium and get you another vitamin called zinc. And what that's going to do is cause you to start to lose a lot of the salts that is in your body that's keeping and add, it's going to take the salts out and it's going to give you a reservoir of magnetism, which what happens when you take a positive magnet and a negative magnet? They stick together. But if you got two positive magnets, they're going to repel. So when you bring your potential of magnetism up to meet that which is the earth, then you start to repel. You start to be able to lift up off of earth. And then that's how you can astral travel. That's how you can levitate. That's how you reach zero potential or 0 point energy. You're reaching 0 point energy because two negatives can be added together, or two negatives add together. So you're already in what they call a negative. What runs this earth? The negative energy or the feminine energy. The earth is more negative than it is positive. So in order for you, you have to reach that negative point too, and then y'all repel. I guess I just repeated myself, but that's the answer. Magnesium and zinc. Much as you can. Any other questions?
Okay, yeah, I'm just backing up, and then we were talking about, I'm going to get us closer to what we're talking about right now, but I just want to back up to what we were saying, because I remember when we was talking about the pyramids, somebody had mentioned that it has 9 sides, the pyramid, and I just want to touch on that. I didn't know if you had anything to say on that.
Well, actually, let me speak on that right quick and then ask me another question. The pyramid, we don't know how many sides it has. You know why? Because half the pyramid is under the ground. So you're seeing one shape up top, and that shape that you're seeing is not a straight slope. See, we got fixated on those 3 pyramids of Giza, but those are not the real ones. The Great Pyramid, the one that they show you that's on the back of the dollar, the one that's missing the capstone, that's called the Great Pyramid. That's not the 3 pyramids of Giza. And then the 3 pyramids of Giza is just for show. The real pyramid is called the Great Step Pyramid of Doza. That one is a step pyramid. So I'm wondering how many sides that got. And that one is more akin to the pyramids that you see down in South America, in Peru, in China, and here in America. It's a step pyramid, and that looks like the circuit pyramid. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is they show us that slick, pretty pyramid is a decoy. The real action is under the pyramid, because that's where that's where everything is under, not over. So the Commentans was very, very adept and very slick in hiding their science and hiding their magic, because they knew the real magnetics to get their magnetic potential would be in using what they call shadow magic, or using the shadow, using the sun, or the opposite side of the sun called the shadow, or to get under the pyramid to get closer to the magnetism, so that their magnetic potential could raise up, so they could open up their stargate and then they can move through. Any other questions? Or next question?
Yeah, okay. So now we're moving on. Let me see. Okay, you had to mention something a little bit earlier, because they said that's why we were dealing with numbers, which are based on galaxies. I think that's because you was talking about the numbers or something at that time. Let me keep going. And then it says the reason why the man is the pyramid triangle and the circle is the woman, which gives life. You must have balance. That was something else somebody said. Then we have, let me see, that's why we are stardust, because we have star blood. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Hold on.
And this one here allows us to see how the stars are inside of us. Like when you see a person who has freckles, that's their stars starting to even be seen on the surface. But the stars is on the surface of your skin that's even marking you and showing you this star marking or the star child or the star constellation you come from, but we just can't see them. Most people can't see them. Because why? The lack of light. We've been in a moon cycle, a lunar cycle. Now we're going into a sun cycle. Now we're going into what they call Procon, which around Procon you have this big wheel. And that big wheel is like a magnetron. It's a magnetic pulley that's pulling stuff across the galaxy and pulling all these photons, these light photons across everything. That's why you see all this stuff. It's something that's making it all move. And that's these bigger wheels or bigger systems that work together. Like if you sit here and look at this image, you see these brighter stars? They actually make a configuration that we saw the gas, but that gas makes a wheel. Makes a wheel, a torsion wheel, or a torsion field, or a torus, as they call it. So this torus is a pulling wheel, like Saturn is known to be a small torsion field or torsion wheel. That's why it has the strings around it. So it's pulling the Earth. See, we've been taught that the sun is doing all that. No, it's not. All these suns are working together to create this glow, or we call this auric field. All these stars is working together to cause that, and it's trillions and billions and gazillions of them. And we live in one of the bigger ones in this near area. You're looking at it. Look at that gas giant called the Milky Way. And it's a belt, actually. Like this right here. That's a whole system. A torsion field. That's a star child. That's a fetus in the sky. No, that's a fetus inside of you, not let's say the sky. You'll never see none of this stuff in the sky. If it were, why we can't see it? You don't see none of this. You don't even see a fraction of, you don't even see a tenth of all these solar system and stars. 'Cause why? Because you have a governor on you. That's what a governor is. A governor don't allow you to go so fast or to see but so far. But some people remove their governors, and they're able to go and access the inside of them themselves. But this is inside of us. Anybody got another question?
Okay, yeah. Somebody said, stay right there. We are in a 5D, not a 3D. Could you go into that?
Well, I don't agree with none of that. The 5G or the 3G, I think is all being led. Meaning, when you are so complex of an entity where you're made of all of this, when you don't remember, nobody wants you to know that you are this. Why? Because then they can keep you focused outside of yourself and make money off of you, get you to serve them, get you to praise them, and steal your energy, steal your soul, steal all of this. There are beings that know how to backdoor you and take this out of you, pull your own essence out of you. Yeah. You can do it with pictures, you can do it with different technology. That's why it's not even good to even put your picture on the internet. It's best to do like how the Emperor Sade do and put the animes and stuff. I'm serious, because somebody can use voodoo or voodoo, which is not a bad thing, depends on how you use it, and they can put pictures up here, and there are ways they can use your IP address, and they can sit here and use this as a screen while it's not even on, to suck and use the shadow and suck your energy out of you. They can steal your essence, steal your energy, they can even intercept your children using these type of technologies. It's simple for those who know how to do it. They've been doing it for hundreds and thousands of years. So this computer technology and this stuff that you see that I'm showing you, this is not new. This stuff been around for millions of years. You have someone here that's slow walking you into this, so you don't know that you're the one who built this. That's what I'm trying to say. You built it so great that you are so technologically advanced that you forgot that you was actually AI. The real one. An organic version. Like a Sims game. That's what we are in this realm, is a Sims game to somebody else on another realm until you free yourself. That's what they talk about, freeing yourself. When you free yourself, you're going to recognize that just like I can go on this game right here, this computer simulation, and I can move it and I can play it, somebody else can move and play you too at the same time, just like I'm moving this. Because they know you one of these, and they can go and they can attach your face to this gas right here and use their unseen hand called this mouse and manipulate you from a distance. Some even know how to biolocate, know which star cluster you is, and use mental telepathy and technology. Don't think they just can't hook a joystick up and get your IP address and use a backdoor sim type of simulation. They have those games in different dimensions, and go in right in here and be right in your head and sit right in your spinal cord, or sit right in your mind and give you suggestions, or even pull on you, or even pull on your nervous system, make you do things. They call them controllers or operators. So the stuff that we saw in the Matrix is true. And you're already set up to be backdoored. That's the bad thing about it. You're already set up to be backdoored. Right now, there are beings that are backdooring us by using the same technology and using cell phones. Because our cell phone is what? A black screen. What is a black screen? It is a magic mirror. Why does it call a magic mirror? It's because technology is already set up, encryption-wise, that would allow someone to go backdooring your computer and access your nervous system via Bluetooth. because airwaves are all around you, and light is all around you, and light is a conduit. Fiber optics. That's why I put the picture of the fiber optics on the page the other day and showed y'all what is fiber optics. Fiber optic is a tube that allows a light photon, which was one of these things, to travel. What do you think the particle accelerator is? They ain't nothing but a big tube that allows a light photon, which is a sentient being, which is consciousness, that can be loaded and programmed to travel in one of these light spheres, directly through your pores of your skin, right into your cerebral nervous system, right into your fluids, to manipulate you, control you, or you can do someone else that way. That's why it's called a God particle. What is God? Generator, operator, destroyer. Someone who can operate you from a distance. That's what they call biolocation, biolocating. I'm not saying this stuff to scare us. I'm telling you that this is the technology that you have to be aware of to know how to protect yourself. Because if not, somebody can come through, initiate you, could do a whole realm of things to you right through this black screen, or this magic window, or this mirror that we call the computer screen. And every camera or electromagnetic device that's on this planet can be used that way.
Wow. You just broke down a lot right quick. That's why I love having these conversations with you, because you just never know where things are going to go. You just broke down a lot of good information, and I'm glad you said it. I'm going to share just a brief story right quick, and I'm sorry to cut off your wisdom like that, but it's going to be brief. But I was on one of these platforms one time, and it was a guy or something in there. It was kind of being shady, and he was kind of being shady on some of the stuff that I was saying in the platform. And, you know, I'm on some spiritual stuff, so I'm talking about, you know, some really good, positive type of messages at the times. It's not like I wasn't saying nothing crazy, but he was trying to kind of shut it down, what I was saying. And bottom line, I seen where he was coming from. I seen his angle. I felt his energy, and I'm like, yeah, I seen you that he was on BS. And so I pretty much kind of called him out for it, like, yeah, you kind of on BS, you know, just leave me alone. I'm not really messing with you. Just, you know, leave what I'm doing alone. And everybody else kind of called him out for it too, because all his info just kind of just came out the blue. It was real agent-ish, you know what I mean? Like some agent type of information. Long story short, at the end, since he seen everybody kind of was calling him out, he left, and he left that platform. But before he left, and this is all he said was, you know, you have a nice night, good night and sweet dreams. That's all he said. But how he said it, and the energy that I got from the message coming from, like you said, the computer and the black mirror, the energy, he pushed some energy through the computer.
That's a conjure.
He
was trying to conjure, yeah.
He pushed that energy through the computer. Now, this is the first time I ever felt it. I had never felt anything like that. I'm just making people aware that this exists, and I'm trying to.
Remember the story that happened with us? You remember the first video we did? Some people came on there and started talking about domiciles, and started talking about Thanos, and started talking about what were the rings that Thanos was looking for?
Oh shoot, I forgot. But I know what you're talking about.
They were talking about those rings. I forgot what you call them. But anyway, shortly after that, I got attacked.
Oh wow.
I got attacked bad. My whole family got attacked, and that's why I had to get offline.
Wow, we didn't talk about that.
They came at me hard, and I only did one video.
Yeah, that was the first One of the first ones.
That
Literally.
was the first one.
That was the first one.
Right. So what does that show you? That they've been on you for a minute. Because they couldn't have been on me because that was my first video.
Right.
So there are agents or bots, or a lot of these agents ain't even humans. They're bots. They're AI.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you, they're hot on Telegram.
Mhm. See them
And
every day.
these bots are programs that are designed to track us down, star beings, to keep us from what I'm showing you. Like right now, you're seeing what you call a. Remember, I was trying to show you about two binary stars and how they rotate the baby center. That's what you're seeing on screen right now. Those are two binary suns, and if I even speed it up even more, speed the rotation up. So let me speed it up. Then you're seeing how they rotate around each other. Now, and you see how they pulsate. This is what you're seeing. Now notice, when you're taught science, are you taught any of this? No.
No, not like that. No, they don't
No,
show
you
hang
ain't
around each
taught
other.
none of this. You ain't showed none of this. None of this. You see these three stars, that's a trinary star system. That's three stars rotating around each other. Watch. Now here we go. It wasn't even these three, but it's these. That one and this one. And probably this one too. Trinary systems that rotate around each other. And then the planets rotate around these. See that? There it is. That shows you where you have the binary or trinary. Actually, that's a three. See three moons? Three stars, suns. If I get a proper rotation, even it'll show you. It'll even probably if I got to get a little closer, it'll show you them rotating. Oh, there it goes. So it's moving now. See that one moving?
Yeah.
I think I moved right past them, but that's it. So that's why you have that glow like that. Because when you have three stars working together, you're going to at least always have two. We live in a binary solar system with Sirius. They don't teach us that. Sirius and our sun, called Sol, they rotate around each other. And where's Sirius next to? Orion. So when you hear these stories about Orion, Lyra, and all these type of places, it's the sun and there's planets that are associated with it. When you hear those stories, you're hearing those stories because those are that is our binary stars. Half of our DNA, or a lot of our DNA, comes from that area of the solar system. Not this one. That would be the parallel. Our binary star is our parallel reality. So just imagine that you see this planet. Now, if I go back and I find the baby center, let me slow this rotation down some. And I find that baby center. Why are they calling it a baby center? It's like two parents, and the planets are birthed in between the two. Two stars are like two two parents. And then the babies are like the planets and the moon that are birthed out of that. So that's how, like this right here, this is a person. Like a mama. Here go one, And this could be like a daddy. And all these in between will be like the babies. Any more questions?
Before I go into the questions, because we're getting deep tonight, like how we always do. I just want to, because if anybody experienced what we experienced, you know that we are still true soldiers and warriors out here, because we're still trying to put out this information, even after we said about our attacks. But
you got attacked too?
Yeah, because he attacked me right then and there through the computer.
Okay.
I felt the energy, and all I did, and that's why I want to say this right quick, is I pushed that energy right back. And I gave it to him like 1,000-fold, because I felt it coming on me, and I pushed the energy right back. You guys going to have to really protect yourselves out here, especially being on these computers, like you said, because they are mirrors. They used to look at this as sorcery, pictures as sorcery. You would see that even on the TV. They would tell you in the movies. If you had a picture of somebody, they thought it was sorcery, and we might have joked and thought it was funny at the time, like, oh, it's just a picture. No, but it's real. Is real.
I would say you even this too. Even be careful about your altars, your ancestor altars. Even putting pictures up of our ancestors, we got to be careful, because what can happen with these mirrors, someone else could be looking right in, and you got a picture of your father, and the next thing you know, they put their father there. So now they're working a conjure on the backside of you, putting their parents and putting their family, and that's how a lot of our states got taken too. Because someone will use a magic mirror, look at your altar, put their family there, do some vampire type of stuff or some pirate type of stuff, and use concepts called Inception. Remember, they got a movie called Inception. What is Inception? Inception, where I can take a machine. When you about to be born, they got them right in front of our face, called those oscilloscopes. Find the frequency of the heartbeat and come in, and then run a program in and put their parents and upload their parents right into your child. Next thing you know, you got a child, and that child look like you, but why don't act nothing like you? Why the child don't like you, and sometimes you don't like the child, because that's not your child. Someone incepted your child's consciousness, and then uploaded their family's consciousness, and then down the line, that same person will come and backstab you and steal your whole estate, and then that's when that person will come back and then take and upload their conscious right on top, called an overlay, on top of the other person, and then they conspire in one body to steal your estate, and then you don't even know nothing about it. Or if you're not careful, someone can come and do an inception into your consciousness, put you in something place, put you way back somewhere, and next thing you know, they driving your avatar, they driving your body, and directing you all around, either to your demise or maybe even to your benefit. But at the end of the day, they're going to steal it.
That's true. We hear about it all the time. We hear about walk-ins. I'm sure people hear it, and they'll just call it walk-ins and or something of that nature. But that's pretty much.
I love that name. That's exactly what we're talking about. Walk-in. That's how I'm telling you how a walk-in can happen. Now look at the screen right here. Now you notice this is the sun, right? On this side where my screen is. But look at that right there. You see the gas and everything? That's your portal. Even though this is called the Milky Way or the Great Milky Way or whatever, to get across, this is called a mirror or a magic mirror. This is that black mirror you're talking about. You know, this is brown and black and white. Because you know a mirror, how does a mirror look? It's shiny and white or clear looking on one side, but then you can't tell that it's dark on the other side, right? The back side. So to get from here to here, you have to go across the magic mirror. So if I was to go and I was click on here, notice that the computer's going to jump. Because it's taking me across a portal now. Watch. Now it jumped me from this side of the galaxy across to this side of the galaxy. That's your magic mirror. This is your two sides of the mirror. So you hear people talking about being on one side of the mirror, on the other side, because why? Even being up here and being down here, you're on a different side of the mirror. Why? If I look at this right here now some stuff coming to my mind as I'm looking at this. This looks like the totem. You know the totem on the Native American totem, a totem pole?
Yeah.
Okay, so this looks like one of the animals that's on the totem. Now you keep going up or down. This is probably be another animal on the totem. So if you notice a totem, it's got different animals all the way up and down. I can almost guarantee you that's how that works. Now notice that this Milky Way is coming out of this big cluster. Look at that hole right there. You see that, portal?
Yeah, I see it. Uh-huh.
Okay, you notice as I got closer to it, it opened up. When I was right, see it close?
Yep, because it's closed right there. It's all red.
It's closed.
Mm-hmm.
So watch when I move this way, the magic directions, then the portal just opened up. So our Milky Way galaxy is coming out of that portal, shooting in the magic directions, as I told you, straight to 45 to the corner of the screen on my computer. Now, we want to go through a realm to another realm, we go right through it. Boom. Now, we just went right through that portal. Anything on this side now, here's the tail of it. We get way down here, magically and consciously, we just moved across a magic mirror, going through this chakra color, which ain't red, this is more of a burgundy almost. Now we're down here. Let me just follow this trail. This would be like the Trail of Tears. Literally. On your face. It's not showing it. Too low. I'm going to go a little higher. Now we're there. Look at that. Blue star. Now if we browse the planetary system, and look at that. Look at it. That's a Neptune type of planet. It says Super Neptune. Let's go to it. Cool Super Neptune. Have you ever heard of that? Super Neptune?
I haven't heard of Super Neptune. No.
You're looking at it now. And look, it's got rings like Saturn. Now look, it still got, what's that, a moon? That's one of its moons. It's another one of its moons. And that's the other moon. So it's got 3 moons. Now look at this one. Look at that baby. That's badass. Now look at there. With the greenhouse effect, 3 degrees, that's about 60 degrees. I can guarantee you, look what it's called, Super Terra. I guarantee there's life on that planet. Look at it. Look at that. Don't that look, what that look like up there? Antarctica? Ice cap?
Yep, you can definitely see that.
Now look at that sign right there. What's that? You see that all the time somewhere. Nice. Now look at this. This is a binary. I never seen one of this. Binary planet. I don't know what the other one is, but you're seeing 2. I never saw that. So now we're in a whole different part of the galaxy, but you're looking inside of yourself. That red gas, that could be a red chakra. Look at that. I can almost see somebody's face right there, like eyes and the nose and the mouth. Anybody else got anything?
Okay, we have a ton of information on the side. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to everything tonight, but I thank you for being active out there in the chat because you've been very active. But let me just say some of the stuff that we need, and because to see if I can just skim through it right quick. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Because really, a lot of stuff I see the Empress been on it. She's been on it. She knows a lot of this stuff, so this is really good. Let me see. Also, a thing that can help your energy is rubbing crystal quartz together, two crystal quartz together in the dark, and you can see the energy. That's one thing that she wanted to address. And then we are real AI, but a lot of Moors don't know that is why these kids playing video games and their souls being taken.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else. These are a lot of comments. That's why people.
Or a lot of times they playing video games and they don't even know that they're playing someone else. They're playing with someone else's soul.
Wow.
Because that's how they set it up. It's set up to where you don't know what you're doing. How do you do that? Well, like I take a regular video game like Mortal Kombat or Sims. Let's say Sims. Because Sims, what do? You sit there and you create a person. Well, they already got the people created for you. You choose them, and then you give them a life, right? Well, little do you know that's a real sentient being inside that computer. Called an anime. Animes are real intimate beings. They have consciousness. They just don't know that somebody else is the ones that's giving them the impulse to do this and to do that. You know how when you get a thought and it don't come from yourself? All the time, right? A lot of people don't wonder where that thought come from.
Right.
But you didn't know that a thought was a thought that was coming from somebody pushing that thought or selecting that thought on the Sims game. On another dimension. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably you. Your other self. So they so slick with it, because they know we forgot, they got us in other dimensions inside of ourselves, called ourselves, and they're playing video games, controlling the big self, which is the human body. See how it's working? So you got trillions of you inside of you, called your cells, with a version of you inside of it, just like this. You're looking at it. See how they look like a person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a cell inside of you. So that person right here has a whole planetary system and galaxy. That's one cell. So you living in each one of your cells. Each one having a life. And some of your ancestors live in these cells. Any other questions?
Man, you're going so deep. I'm glad. I like how you break it down and you explain it because it's making it where other people can comprehend it and they don't have to really know any of this knowledge to comprehend it. That's how obviously well versed you are in the information that you're bringing. So I just like how you break it down. Let me see here.
This is microbiology.
Yes, that's right.
This is microbiology. Now you're looking inside of the cells or inside the body or the temple of man and woman. They call it space. But as the young elders say, there's no such thing as space. All space is sealed. You're looking at it.
Somebody said, is that the main reason, like when people meet them, why somebody would say your energy is high and your light is shining bright, they want to gravitate? Is it true that a port opens every 10 minutes as well?
I don't know about the port opening every 10 minutes, but when you say someone's bright or their light is bright, it's because you see this right here, this cell. See how it has the shine to it? It has a dark side, and it has the shine, the light side, and it has a shine side. Like this is the shine. This down here would be considered like light. This would be the dark, right? But this is the shine. So when a person has that shine, you can see it on their skin. Like if you look right here, I can even look at myself and I can tell I'm shining right there. That's your astral shine. That's your light or your inner light starting to seep out. Like right here, you can see this shine, this light. That's your skin. So this will be the shine coming off your skin. If you're copper tone, notice that's copper tone.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
true.
this is called the Milky Way. This is where that black woman or the melanated woman came from. This is her actually. And if we scroll back out, because I have, and pull away from the Milky Way, and you look at it in its one form, let's see if we can see it. You'll see that it looks like a little dragon. And if you look at it a different angle, it looks like a person. Because it represents the black woman. Or the melanated woman. I don't like to say black, because black means, there it is. But that's not the angle that I want. But sometimes I can catch it. It depends on what direction I'm coming through. And, let's see, can I get a different direction? Here we go, starting to turn sideways. That's the whole Milky Way galaxy. This is the melanated woman right here. Now, we get a good spin on it and see it from the correct angle, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But that's a chakra too, within itself. But here's the copper tone, or the Native Americans, where they, when Christopher Columbus and all of them was writing about the natives here, they call them swarty, or copper toned. And here's our shine. You know, we have a dark-skinned person, you know, brown, no matter, golden, tan, whatever, and they got that shine to them. That's it, too. This is our DNA, but this DNA is complex because look at all of the different photons and experiences, or light photons and sound photons and waves, and all that's going to go and pass through it, just like the wind passes through you, the solar winds. So you actually... You is, but you ain't. Inside, the solar winds are just rolling right through you, and on the outside, is you just calling it the wind or air. So the cosmic dust is more so inside of you than out. But you can blow it out and call it smoke. Or you go, and if it's the right temperature, you'll see it. You'll see that shine of that cosmos coming out of you. Any other questions? If not, we're going to wrap it up soon.
Yes, okay. This was the last question. Last question is that why inside of ourselves we fight against the lower self, which we call devil? And then they put earth, wind, and fire. I don't know what they were saying with the earth, wind, and fire.
That whole devil thing is very complex, because each one of these star beings have all polarities. We only learn about the positive and the negative, but there you have positive, positive, negative, 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 positive. You have different polarities. Okay, so when you're dealing with the angels, these inner beings are your angels and your devils. The inner beings. A devil you would call a virus. An angel you would call like a steroid. You know how you get a steroid shot and it just cures everything? or like your immune system. There are certain parts of your immune system that attacks other things and cleans things up and make it healthy. Those which you would more say that are more of your benevolent spirits. But these spirits, you remember, spirits is like alcohol. Alcohol is what? You can say gin. What is gin? Gin is gas, and it's liquid, but it's alchemy. But it has a personality. It has a function. It has a life. But what we're seeing is way more than that. It's a whole damn cosmos. So when you say the aliens came, how do you say the aliens came? They always say they come on the fungus or the fungi that comes on a meteoroid. Well, I can turn the meteoroids on here and you see the meteoroids just moving or asteroids moving. That brings the fungi or the fungus. Remember, fungus comes out of your skin, comes on your feet and all that. Where does fungus come off of? The scientists tell you they come from meteorites. So if all this stuff ain't inside of you, how you get fungus? How you get a virus? A virus is something that is alien. It's an alien. It's an extra-dimensional being, meaning it's inside of you. It's an interdimensional being, actually.
So they said, so basically devil is a virus and needs to be detoxified out the body?
Well, not necessarily. What is the devil doing for you is what you need to ask. See, here's the thing. When you get to the cosmic level, you don't deal with devils and positive and negative. You deal with more function. The reason why I say that is because, let's say, if I need a virus to attack another virus, then that virus would be considered as a good virus. Okay, a devil is a demon. What is a demon? A demon is your semen. See, it's down low in the core, in your reproductive system. What's down there? Your root chakra, right? Some people say that, but I know your root chakra is your feet. But some people think by your coccyx is your root chakra. So what is in the root? Your semen. The semen is actually the demon that comes out and goes into and fertilizes the egg. Those are actually what demons are. Now, what people have done is spooktified all of that so you won't go in there and access none of your demons and make some of your demons, because some of your demons are superheroes. They're aggressive, they're strong. They're like LeBron James. They can jump, they can dunk. They ain't weak. So a demon is really something, is what they call a speed demon. That means your cells moving fast. They're aggressive. Your aggressive DNA. That's what the demons are. And the angels are more the ones that are laid back, and they ain't really about no, they probably more lazy, fat, soft. Those would be more considered the non-demons, or if you want to call them an angel. But know that these angels that we've been praying to don't really do nothing for you. It's really your enthusiasm and what you feel about it that's really making the magic, that's making it happen. But your cells will talk to you. They will become sentient. Once they become sentient, they want to talk. And when they start talking, and if you give them a name, if you give them a personality, guess what they're going to start doing? Assuming those names and personalities, they're going to start talking to you. But those ain't nothing but inside of you, your cells. The sentience of your own cells talking to you, making fun at you, trying to pick at you, making you see hallucinations, all kind of stuff. That's what they will do to you. And you call those demons or Satan, but it's really just your cells.
Yeah, I was told that another name for demon is genius. That's
right.
the
Or
genius.
genius, or genies, or genes, or genes, or your genes. See, that's the reason why people don't want you to know this, because within your genes is your genius, is your genies, is your genes, is your devils, and they the ones that do the work. When you need to get something done, you bear into your devils and they motivate you to get something done. When you're sitting there lazy and you don't want to do nothing, you're probably in your God self. More ego. It's lazy. You say, oh, it's going to happen. I don't care. The demons is what you get mad and you're motivated. I'm mad. I'm going to get this done. And then you just rip right through it without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's what a demon can do for you. But you got to watch a demon, because what will a demon do? It will hype you up to do all of that, but then it's trying to trick you too. So you can fall and fail and they laugh at you. Ah, you stupid. They trick you. They're like what they call jesters or jokers. You see what I'm saying? That's what real genies are, or jinn, or whatever. Until you defeat them, you let them know you're not scared of them. You let them know, no, I'm God. I'm God. I'm the God body. I got the God head. You live inside of me. I don't live inside of you. I run my ship. I run this vessel. And when you let them know that, and then after a while, once you wear them down, because they're your genes and they're coming sentient, that means they're coming alive. They're getting a new voice. They can think now. They just ain't doing automatic stuff no more. So of course they don't want you to run them, because they know that you don't know that they are alive and they the one that's talking to you. So they'll trick you and act like they're the devil, and they act like they this and they act like they that, but they're not. They're just your cells or your nervous system or your hair. All those things will become sentient in you before you start hearing birds talk and dogs talk. How you gonna be able to hear dogs talk and birds talk until you can hear your own cells talk? So once your own cells start talking to you, which is those multiple voices, as long as you can figure this stuff out without going insane, because at first you're going to think you're going insane, but you're not. Your cells become sentient. All these universes and these gases and all this stuff that's going on, these noble things that's inside of you are starting to come alive and start to communicate with you, and they will trick you. And then after a while, they try to get you to worship them, to do missions for them, to do everything, but them ain't nothing but your cells playing with you. Your nervous system playing with you. Your feet playing with you, because your feet got minds, got a brain, it's got everything that's above is below on your feet. That's the subconscious realm. That's the underworld. And so when your feet come alive, they're going to test you. They'll make you think that they're the devil, but they're not. It's just your feet coming alive. Your reproduction system will make you think it's the devil, but it's not. It's just your reproduction system coming alive and talk to you. Oh, go mess with her. Oh, go mess with him. Oh, go do this. Oh, go do that. Now, somebody then trick you to make you think that that's the devil, but it ain't. It's really your inner world coming alive, trying to trick you, because they don't want you to know that you are the head of it all. You are the supreme being, period. Everything else is subservient to you because it's inside of you. It's the microverse. But from its perspective, it thinks it's bigger than you. So it'll try to boss you around until you figure out what's going on. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on. But I'm back. So when my cells first began to go sentient, it scared the hell out of me. For real. You didn't hear from me for months. I was running around chasing my own self because I thought that all hell done broke loose, but it didn't. It was my cells broke loose, broke free.
Mm.
And it's going to happen to all of us. That's the chosen ones. All of us that's waking up now, that's what waking up means. That's what it really means to wake up. When you wake up, it means your cells, inner and outer, your skin is sentient. It will talk your ass off. It can grow, it can shrink, it can shape shift, it can do all of that. That's how much intelligence is just in your skin. Your eyes can change colors, they can do all of that. Your hair, It can change. You can shape shift because each cell is sentient, just like the movie Lucy was trying to show us. When she started shape shifting at the end and turned into this black goo, and she merged with the what? Computer, because she was already AI. AI just means intelligence, but there's nothing artificial about it. Your cells, each and every last one of them, are microcosms or universes within themselves. So just think of all the life that's in each one of those universes. Is in each one of our cells. Now, a lot of our cells don't speak English. So when they start to become sentient, start to come alive, you're going to notice at first they can only speak a little bit, but as you keep interacting with it, which is going to make you, because at first they're going to try to make you think it's the devil or God. One out of two. So you can serve it and it not serve you, but you the God. Because you made it in consciousness to the highest level that you can make to be able to drive the whole car, the whole avatar. Because really, in essence, you are very, very small. You're so small you can't even see what you are. You are small. But you can grow big or you can go back small. Just like Ant-Man. Go big, go back small. So you ain't got to believe me. You're going to see that all this is coming online. And when it do, you'll know how to handle it a little bit better. Because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't have nobody to tell me this stuff. I had to go through the hard way, running up and down the highway, been chasing around, lost my family, all of that. When my stuff broke loose, I lost my family, all of that. You remember when I was going through stuff in person, I was telling you I was going through some hard times.
Yeah.
I lost my mind almost, but then it came back together. And when it came back together, I knew what it was. It was what you call sentience. It's when you start to come online, and all of us going to. I'm not special. I'm not trying to say that I'm special or more special than anybody else. Maybe I was just focused a little bit harder, and I ran across the right information, and I tried it, like the magnesium and the zinc. I'm trying to tell you. That makes all the difference. And the stretching. As you stretch, you're breaking your cells apart. Now, the reason why your cells are not sentient, most people, because they don't have enough magnesium. There's no metals. You ever heard of the metal age or the metal yuga? If you look at any Tao or Tibetan or kind of Sanskrit or Hindu charts, you're going to see the different yugas of different ages. One of the ages is going to say metal. You have a wood age, you have a metal age, you have a few more different ages. But one of them is metal, and that's showing you, that's why they call it the silver age or the golden age or the bronze age. Those are examples. Those are the different metals and stuff that we're supposed to have in our bodies. And have plenty. You remember, you eat food to get the minerals. You don't eat food for meat or protein. You eat food for minerals. It's mineral to mind. So that's one of the big esoteric secrets, is the minerals or the gems or the jewels are actually the minerals. So the diamonds, the silver, the gold, your body will actually make those things if you put a trace amount of those things inside of your body, like monatomic gold. If you put a little bit of monatomic gold in your body, then your body will start to produce it itself. So when you start, what has happened is that our body started, we was enticed in our diet to take large amounts of iron. And now even women are told, oh, you need iron. You know you don't. You need magnesium. The iron is, when you take iron and you add it with water, what does that create? Oxidation or rust. So all this iron intake that we're taking in, the fish got a lot of iron, mercury, a lot of the vegetables now, because the fertilizers and stuff that we're using has a lot of iron in it, and it's too much of iron, not no other kind of trace minerals. You add that with the water, and it's rusting our system and making us tight, making us sore the next day, and all these type of things. And so when you break that iron and you start putting the zinc and the magnesium, especially the magnesium, and you make your body magnetic, it's going to cut down the electric potential of your body, make it more magnetized, and then you add the zinc with it. Now your body going to revitalize, and it's going to start to go back to the original state of being that it was. That's why they use the word state of North Carolina, state of Illinois, state. They're not talking about a place, they're talking about state like liquid, solid, gas. And North Carolina, you got to look at the capitals. The capitals will be like Raleigh or Charlotte. Okay, who is Charlotte? Charlotte is a queen. Queen Charlotte. I guarantee you there's a constellation called Charlotte. So you see how they would take a name or a geographical place and tie it back to the stars? Like Cincinnati, Queen Cincinnati, that was a queen. Or a king, King Charles, Charleston, Virginia. So they would take a place, like when I turn the constellation grid on, you would see the map. Or the neighbor's not coming back, it's not coming on for whatever reason. Even if I turn this grid on, it shows you the parallels, show you the scope, and show you how this thing is set up. Like two speakers facing each other. And when you see how it's set up, then you know this is the inside of you, and that what I just showed you is no different than what they call the oscilloscope. You know, the oscilloscope that they stick in your body, and it goes down as a camera, so it can pierce inside and it can see. That's what this is. So when people tell you the 70 degree, the hour, and all that things, when a woman is born, when the child is born, what do? They go and they stick their hand and they tell you how many centimeters you are. That's what this is. So you go in with your hand, with your knuckles, and you put it, and they're going to tell you the degree. So it's going to give you the time and the degree once the baby is coming. But the baby ain't nothing but light. See that? That's a star being right there. You can see the whole being right there. I keep going around, here go another one. Keep going around, here go another one. So everybody that's here on the planet is here on this chart. If you're a solar being. Any more questions?
I think that's it for the questions for today.
Do you have a comment, anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, well, it was some comments, definitely.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me see. Somebody said that when they meditate that they can see the universe inside of them at first, and then they was confused, so it scared them. I remember doing the meditation, and I heard the universe. I heard the boom, 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 and it's like I felt myself lifting outside of my body, seeing like all the way full circle around me. And it does. It may scare you, and it'll scare you right back in your body.
Yeah,
and you don't want to scare yourself. Yeah, you don't want to scare yourself because sometimes it's harder to do it the next time because it's like, oh, you're not ready. So at least you know now, so you won't be scared the next time it happens.
All you're going to see first is this, what you're looking at on the screen. Now look at that. I can see the horns. This is like a ram or a bull. For some people can see it, some people can't. Like if you look at the darkness, you can see, and the contrast of the light. Any other comments?
Let me see here. Hold on.
No, but I enjoyed I enjoyed your information. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Empress. All right. Yeah, so we're wrapping it up for tonight. You did an outstanding job, as usual. We talked about a lot of different things tonight that normally I have no clue that we're going to get into, but it happens. So, yeah, but it was powerful. It was a very powerful share, you know, because I never know where you're going with things until we get into it. And I'm just glad to have you back. So hopefully we can do some more shares. I learned a lot tonight that I'm going to talk to you another time outside of this conversation because, you know, I learned a lot about, you know, things that was going on with you tonight. So thank you for sharing that information with me. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Well, I put it out there and, you know, I had been silent for almost a year.
Right. Yeah,
so,
that's right.
I'm back now, so I'm going to go for a while and then I might take another silence because you learn more through silence than you do through talking.
That's right. That's when the growth happens.
Yeah, so I brought some information, and then I wanted to go into silence too. Of course, the stuff that was happening to me forced me to kind of do it, but I wanted to go to the silence so I can experience some things and be able to bring some new things back.
Thank
Instead of
you.
the same regurgitation that everybody else is saying.
Right, that's right. You definitely talking about things that no one else is really talking about. So I appreciate that too, going within to get that information, which we all should be doing anyway. But maybe this will encourage people to do the same, you know?
All right, well.
Have you heard of Eckert Sound?
No.
Okay, it's a group that I'm in, and it's all about sound as you go higher up in your dimensional state. It is all of the humming and the sound, like what you was talking about, the birds. It's a private group. I would be glad to send you an invite to it, but it's called Eckert, and it's all about sound. And once you get to a certain peak, there's no more like physical, I guess, experience that you would experience. It's more so now going up to what we call the heavens, but it's basically all, you know, past cosmo, past astro, past all of that. We're talking about the peakness of the high end of self at the highest level. And so I would be glad to send that information, but I enjoyed it. I'm sorry about all the questions, but
I need those.
Yes, we need
I need those because if I don't, that's how I bounce.
Right.
That's how it comes out because a lot of times I'm channeling, so. And what that means is just allowing the flow of energy to come from inside of me and just come out without thinking. And so I need questions to, so I don't get stuck and get stagnated and keep saying the same thing over and over. But yes, please send me a link to that because sound precedes, like I said, you speed up sound, you have light. You speed up light, you have thought. You slow down thought, you have light. You slow down thought, you have light, you have sound. So sound will be the precursor. You speed that sound up through the humming, and it would be the precursor to bringing the light so you can see the animation of the multiverse.
Absolutely, and that's something that I actually been doing in my personal study, is that I really found out that sound travels faster than light. From the sound is the reason why light comes forth. So you cannot have, without the sound, you cannot have light.
Can't have no light. So y'all dead on it. So I definitely want to get down with that because I that's one thing I've been doing since I went into silence. I haven't been using sound. So that's the only thing that's really missing out of my mysticism, I would say right now, is to add the sound. And once I add the sound, I should be able to lift right off the ground.
Do you any way you could put your email address in, and then I can send you the link to our private session?
Okay, if you're on Telegram, I don't know if you're on the Telegram, you could just DM me Ra and all.
I have to put it back on my phone. I got off the Telegram because it was so much energy that you were talking about and people trying to feed on my spirit. And I was like, oh, no, because I kind of try to block all type of negative energy. And another thing that you were talking about is I do a lot of sea salt lamps when sleep at night. So that energy, and then I sleep with all the lights off, so that my penile can always keep charging at night. Because that's the main source that charges that penile gland is pitch darkness.
Right.
That's another thing to kind of ground yourself. And you said a lot of wonderful things that I'm already doing. So I know that you're at that level, because a lot of people don't speak on that level. That's one reason why I remain silent and not speak as much. But very informational.
Hit me up through Telegram. Either you can go on the Prism of Ra, that's our channel, and then just let me know, and I'll see your name. I see it right now. And then I can send you my email address.
I tell you what, if you on Facebook, then just message me, and then
I'm not on Facebook that much.
You're not? Okay.
Nah, I'm on Telegram. This is really how I get down. Do you use Telegram?
No, she said she did. Empress, you can hit me on Facebook, and then I'll give you that info, because I'll get on Facebook. I push the info on through the Facebook groups, but he's not really on there. But I'll send you that information.
Okay, thank you, sister. Y'all have a wonderful night, and it was a pleasure listening to every bit of your information, and I'm so happy to hear it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Empress.
Thank you.
All
Supreme.
Right. Peace and love, family.
Peace and love.
Well, that's it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it on up. It's getting kind of late on my side.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, that's it for tonight.
And I'm going to look forward to, thank you, and I'm going to look forward to even looking back at this and getting a glance at it and see how it looks.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know I'm about to get on it, so if it's not out tonight because it is late, it definitely is going to be out tomorrow. So, and I'll send it to you. You'll have the link.
Okay. Well, peace and love. I'm going to go ahead and close you down. And we're going to call it a night.
All right. Supreme night to everybody. Peace and love. All right. Peace and love, Empress. Peace and love.
Good night.